Hello everyone, and welcome to Planet Zootorial. This is an interactive tutorial series where you will be able to create this in the end. We are going to go there via landscaping, pathing, barriers, buildings, and also foliage, and you will be able to build alongside me with the blueprint provided in the description down below. But now let's jump into the episode and have some fun. Hey there, and welcome to the third Zootorial. We are in, as I said, episode number 3. This episode is all about barriers and fencing and habitats in general, creating them. So, in today's episode, we are basically, building the fencing for our red panda habitat. The final result will look like this. And now, as we are creating this, in the first 2 episodes, we have dealt with pathing and landscaping. So if you are not very familiar with this and you still want to do it, make sure to click the first 2 episodes first, because this will help you to create this. If you want to create this alongside me, make sure to download the link of this habitat down below in the description. Put this right next to you, to the left-hand side or right-hand side, and just build alongside with me. So it makes it even easier for you to understand how this works. So before we go on with the barrier, we need to kind of think of a few things to keep in mind. First of all, I created a natural barrier by using the water. So where the water is, we don't really need a hard fencing. I want to keep it as open as possible to make the people look at this area. I'm not even too sure if the pandas can swim, so maybe I have done a mistake over here, maybe even intentionally, who knows. Because maybe I want to show you something then in the end, so who knows, you know. Anyways, we are creating the fencing now, assuming that the pandas can't swim. What we want to do with the barriers is we want to first of all have a look into the barriers option. Anyways, this is in sandbox mode, therefore I do have all the options. If you play in career mode or franchise, you have to research a few of these options first. Let me just mention this. However, the mechanics basically all work the same. So cool. First of all, what do we have? We have a gate, we have a track airlock, we have a guest gate, and we have a wooden habitat gate, and we have a wooden track airlock. Quickly explained, this is the normal gate in metal and wood. No real big difference. This is where your staff members enter. Then you have the airlock for basically transport rides that can go inside and outside your habitats. And the guest gate will allow your guests to go into a habitat, which is pretty cool because you can make walk-in habitats. There are plenty of examples on this channel. Just type in walk-in habitat. You're gonna find some. Okay, cool. Now, we have to define which kind of fencing we want. I want to have a wooden fence in the back, and I want to have no fence in basically the front. So the question now is, how do we do no fence? And there's a wonderful option which is called the null fence. The null fence basically is invisible. Now, after trying a few things, I would highly recommend to always build with this concrete or the red brick wall, because this is the one you have at the very beginning. So I'm going to show you how I work with the red brick wall. The reason why I'm using the red brick wall is it basically allows you to do everything. The thing about this is it's watertight. It is you can make a nice roundish shape of it, and you can basically see it, which is a really important thing to keep in mind. So first things we want to do, we want to keep doing the back side of the habitat first, and I'm going to use this little raised area here as a guideline where I want to go. So let's kind of create this first. I want to start over here. And now, as you can see, it's a very, very short piece. I don't want to have it that short. So we have some options to the right-hand side. It's basically, as you have learned in the last episode, with the passing. So I'm not going to go too much into it here because it's somewhat similar. How you can do these things, you can change basically by clicking or some shortcuts. So for example, if you want to have angle snap, just hit spacebar, and I'm not clicking. I just hit spacebar, and you can see the angle snap is activated or deactivated. This is pretty handy if you want to create something very nice looking and very organic, or if you want to be some kind of OCD person who wants to go very straight and in your dedicated angles, you use spacebar. And then you can change the type to straight sections or curved sections. So we always want to work with curved sections, and I want to have it a bit more long, which is, let's go to 10 meters. If you want to do this on your keyboard, you can do this basically by pressing the plus. Oh wait, is it working? It's not even. Oh no, it's working. You have to press the, oh god, how I'm even explaining these options. It is the backslash key on your keyboard and the key on the right hand side, which is the accent or whatever. These two keys help you to increase and decrease the length on the go as a hotkey on your keyboard. So we don't want to play around too much with hotkeys right now. Let's go down to 8 meters though. and then create this one. You can see it's pretty easy. You can simply drag it like a kind of roller coaster in the days of Planet Coaster, and we're just basically painting or just drawing alongside our habitat. Now it's getting very important over here. We are going as close as possible to this area over here, to the wonderful pathing plaza, and then we just follow the line of our habitat. So as you can see, something is happening over here. The path or the kind of fence is not following our terrain. Why is this happening? So there is an option which allows you to change the way how your fence works. I kind of learned to use the flat top and editable bottom version, because this allows you to create wonderful viewing galleries. As you can see, to the bottom part of my fence right now, it adjusts to the terrain, but the top part is always staying at the right height line, which is very handy when you create habitats that have different kind of areas where people can look at. However, if you want to create this going higher over here, you have to change this basically to flat top. Sorry for the other one, the undulating. This is then keeping the level of terrain and always kind of remains the same height, and so you can use it. Now we have to get a bit more creative too, or just a bit more like this. You don't have to be that precise over here. You don't really need to be that precise, because this is only to paint a little bit outside of our habitat, because as we figured, we have the natural border with our water. Okay, so now let's connect this to this piece. Okay, the habitat borders are done, just as a basic version. Now, this looks ugly as hell, doesn't it? Right. Okay, so we have to change a few things. Before we do so, we want to know where our entrance is. And as we have done the facility area in the back here, we also want to have it here, right? That makes sense. So let's go back in. Wooden fence, wooden door might be the good option here. Let's put this, well, right over here. Okay, basically this is now a fully fledged habitat. The moment you put a door in, and the moment the habitat has a fully finished, complete outer fence or habitat barrier, it is a working habitat. It's ready, as you can see. The moment I delete a piece, it's not ready. Now, if you want to change some things, you need to edit the barrier, which we just have done right now. You are in here, and this works as the coaster builder in Planet Coaster. If you're not familiar, you can actually drag and select multiple pieces, or you can just go in and adjust the height of these areas, as I did over here. Again, as always, Ctrl-Z is undo and redo. That helps a lot, basically. Always use it if you can. But now, as I said, I don't want to have this wall. I only use this wall because it is the most flexible one. Now, I want to change some areas. So what I said first, I wanted to have this area in the back. The whole area over here should be wood, because I think wood fits better. And I think I want to have it wood until this very part over here. So that's great. And I think we want to have a bit more wood until over here. Why not? Okay, cool. Now the simplest way of doing it now is you have selected this area which you want to have like wood. Okay, just click wood. Boom, done. It's wood. This is, by the way, also the only way how you can make these wooden pieces bend, because by default these pieces can't bend. I don't know why it does it, but if you use another fence first and then change it back to wood, you can get them bended, like very nicely rounded. Okay. Now 2 meters is a bit less, or 1 meter 85 is a little bit less for red fluffy pandas, because they can climb. I want to make this a bit higher. Let's go to 2 meters and 80. Not too high though. And I want to make sure that they can't climb it. Now, as we change this to wood, we get the option climb proof. This is adding some kind of barrier for them to climb this wall. Now, we have to do this on only the inner side of our habitat. You need to have it both. If you have 2 sides of the habitat for animals, we only have the inside here. So as you can see, there is now something added to this one. This is basically kind of an iron area where they can't climb over. Honestly, yes, some animals would be still able to climb it, but they couldn't make, like, you know, energy or whatever, like a kind of powered fence would be something very weird indeed. So yeah, I've created this, and they can't climb here. But now, what do we do with this ugly wall over here? We don't want this, right? We do want to have our natural water border over here. So we just select this area which we don't want, and simply drag over this little piece, as you can see, this little square over here, until you are in the area where you want, and then simply click the null fence. Boom. As you can see, the visible part is vanished. Still, the perimeter, or the the barrier as the info for the game will remain. And this is very important, so the game knows where the habitat is. However, for the case that the pandas can swim and go out of here and cross this invisible water, the game reckons the animals to be escaped. Therefore, if they can swim, we might want to do something else in the next episode. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting, right? Okay, cool. Now, this is done. Let's hit escape and escape again. As you can see, this is our finished habitat. Isn't that great? I mean, it looks fairly simple. We've done this in 10 minutes. There's nothing happened. And it's pretty easy for them to use it now, right? I mean, everything is done. The fence is set. The habitat works. If I click on it, you can see it's set. You can see the outlines. You can change different things. We have no animals in here right now. So I think it's time to call it a day for the barriers, because this is all you needed to know. There is basically no more about this what you need to know. Great, right? Okay, cool. Now, all the tricks I showed you work with every type of fence, obviously. If you just decide that you don't want to have this backside over here out of wood, you can always go in and say, hey, I want to have like a chain link. Okay, do it that way. If you want to have this gabion over here, and you want to have this gabion to this side, for example, to make sure that the guests have a nicer look to this, because you figured this is nicer next to your path, you can just always change it. And as you can see, it even keeps these climb-proof things, because this is also a wall that the animals could climb. So it's pretty handy. You can lay it out the way you want. I figured I want to keep this actually, because one thing I want to do, I want to make this, and this is now detailing, but you can always create a bit more of a nicer transition into one area. And I want to have this like so, because then we could also create a nice little fencing over here. Same we create on this hand side. Just select the pole, drag it down, here we go. So it doesn't look like really cut off how it was. So I think this looks nice. We can call it a day for this tutorial episode. Now, the next 2 episodes will be about, first of all, the next one is about buildings and, oops, oh my god, I hit my microphone the first time in 3 episodes, woo! Next episode will be about facilities and building in the game, and the last one is foliage and detailing. So, then this is all rounded off tutorial. I hope that all of them are uploaded by now, so you can just go out and watch the whole playlist. It's about an hour of material. You can download this, as I said, and build alongside me and create the same habitat basically. And afterwards you should be able to kind of create whatever you want in the game, because you know the tools and you can use them. How cool is that? So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope to see you in the next one, and make sure to drop some comments down below about questions you have regarding the barriers. I'm more than happy to answer them as always. See you in the next one. Stay tight and bye guys. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching this video. I really do appreciate that. As always, make sure to check out also my social media channels. You can find me everywhere under @Rudi_Rennkamel. Also, big thanks to the crew. You can see it on the left hand side right now. And as always, if you want to see more, you click that card on the top right. And if you want to stick around because you like the stuff you've just saw, whatever, you know what I mean, just click that sub button, which is to the bottom right of the screen right now. But everything else I can say is have a great time and see you next time. Bye guys.
Looking at the